there, the big thing there,
Yeah.
that's her husband Ed.
Okay.
And they came out of the WPA Black Mountain Commission. And this is another one.
This is the living room, and you can actually have water your plants in here. This is the Zimmerman house, Frank Lloyd Wright, Manchester, New Hampshire.
So Geiger, the apprentice, designed the clear story windows. They weren't in Wright's original plan, but they make such a difference. Not only functionally, but aesthetically. When you're outside, they make a huge difference. And he designed the cabinetry in the house in keeping with Frank Lloyd Wright's interest in using brass piano.
Do you know how much the apprentices post Wright's death maintained his legacy or continued his design?
I think some did and some didn't. I know for a fact that John Geiger continued, he worked as an apprentice for Frank Lloyd Wright for about 5 years, but he was involved in that sort of retrospective Wright's work that was at the Met, I think it was, in New York. And Wright
Bathroom.
much too much work on that project. So, and then it was a show that traveled, and he was supposed to travel with it.
Bedroom.
And he set up his own firm.
A lot of built-in storage. Beautiful views of the outside.
Furniture and cabinetry.
Ranch house with picture windows.
Yeah.
And the appliances are all original with the exception of the
That's
switches.
a
You can see the sort of different color.
Yep.
It's from the same year and range of PA buds, it just happens to be white. And there's Di, this is the original. And a guy on a tour. Just like you guys came through and said, I have one in my garage. And we said, we'll take it, but it doesn't, it doesn't work, but it doesn't have to work.
Beautiful fireplace.
Was the courtyard open to the sky or was it?
Yes.
The entrance.
We all grew up with Ruby O'Reilly.
Yes. Some of us still have our mothers.
Well, to tell you the truth, I got my mother's.
Oh, I want to show you some stuff in this room before you leave.
Go ahead.
So this is the guest bedroom and Mrs. Zimmerman's sewing room. And we are, we're again below grade because the carport's right over there. And in this bathroom, very, very skillfully put the mirror opposite a window so that when you look in the mirror, you can also see outside at the same
See
time.
nature.
And Mr. Geiger, who Nancy was mentioning,
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
She mentioned Mr. Geiger as sort of the fellow who did a lot of the detail work and was the liaison with Wright. Well, he later became very good at designing furniture, although he was trained as an architect. So one of the things he did here to give them more storage was he built these and designed these this closet. These are maple sliders. These doors are like the other some of the other furniture. It's veneer. You can see here how it's made.
Yeah.
And then they're hung with piano hinges everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Now, piano hinges, of course, are the color's right. It's brass, and they go the whole length of the door. And the nice feature about them is, aside from the fact that you have to be very good at carpentry to install them properly.
Oh yeah.
But then 70 years after, or 75 years after you
Still
put it in, it
yeah.
still works and it's not warped.
Wow.
So the doors will outlive you.
Right.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. And then just look at the ceiling, how
Yeah.
the work on the ceiling is incredible. See the pegs there? You can see them.
Yeah.
Now those are covering the holes where the screws fasten the boards to the joists. But then they put the plug in and they turn the grain of the plug to the direction of the grain of the board. So when you're not looking directly below it and you look down the board, the peg disappears. So it's little things like that that,
Wow.
that are just, and just come over here and just look at, excuse me. So you just see how beautifully this shelf is made.
Yeah.
And how he's taken that, that 10 and 3, so echoing here, and he's matched the wood. You see the grain goes here and goes around. So
Right.
somebody had to look at all the wood and decide where it's going to go to make sure the grain is continuous. Now, it's not true everywhere in the house, but it's true mostly where you can see it clearly.
Yeah.
And it took 11 months to build this.
Yeah.
11 months.
Well, you can imagine.
Yeah. Well, no,
Longer,
but
anything.
no, and it must have been with quite a crew to do that.
I don't know how many people. How many
Because
people.
I mean, with all the detailed work. it's
I mean, he just had very skillful people.
Yeah.
People who really knew what they were doing.
Mhm.
The original general contractor was fired over some dispute, but
Oh.
most of the subs stayed on the job because they really loved working with these materials. I think
Yeah.
they took a lot of pride in what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, how many people ask that you do this sort of thing?
Yeah.
Right.
So if you're a finished carpenter and somebody asks you to make this ceiling,
Right.
well, you can't be happier than to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's really remarkable in terms of the design, the construction,
Yeah.
and how lucky we are that they were so